As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Abdul Karim, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the importance of Alhamdulillah. So it's so important, everybody. I cannot stress this enough. Alhamdulillah is one of the most important words that we as Muslims can say in Islam. Why? Because we're thanking our Maker. You know, so much in life we have to thank our Maker for. In our life we have eyesight, you know, we have hearing, we have touch or smell. You know, most of us, we don't know, well, most of us don't know this, but if you're like an average, you know, Joe or Joette in this world, just making that last one up, you'd probably have 2 arms and 2 legs. Or did you know that you have more arms and legs than the average human being? Why? Well, it's one of these mathematical things, but basically because not everybody has arms and legs, or 2 arms and 2 legs, the average is just below 2, so it's like 1.9 something, right? I don't know the actual statistic, but I do know that the average human being has got more arms and legs than the statistical average, right? So that's something to be grateful for. There's people out there with like 1 arm. Well, there's people out there with both arms, but one of them can't be used, you know? There's a guy who was like doing rock climbing, and he went up this rock, and about 30 meters up the rock, this boulder hits him on the head. He's like, boom, ah, and he's out, right? He wakes up bleeding onto the floor, and his girlfriend pulls him up, and he realizes he can't move his arm, and there's a hole in his head where a boulder had fallen straight onto him and smacked him in the head, and he lost the use of his arms and legs. Now before then he never thought of having a family, but then after that, Alhamdulillah, he married a nice woman. Like, he married a different woman than the one who pulled him up, but he married a nice woman, he had kids, he started writing books. I mean, this guy has so much to be thankful for, and yet he can't use one of his arms and one of his legs. And us walking around with both of our arms and legs, and yet most human beings forget to thank their Maker. It's so important to thank your Maker. And you know, you always got to remember those worse than you, those who are suffering right now, who are having it way worse than you. There's a lot of people, and I'm not going to get too much into this, but we know that there's people in like countries across the world that are like being bombed, and they're being scared, and they lost their children, or they lost another family member. Every day they get news, and it's like, so-and-so died. It's like another hammer blow. You know, this person's soul is just getting hammered. You know, your mother died. Like, boom! And then till next day, your uncle died. Boom! Next day, oh, all your cousins are dead. Boom, boom, boom! You know, these people are being struck. And these people are living right now. It's the world. You know, there's 7 billion human beings, and there's one person I can guarantee in this kind of situation who's suffering so hard. And yet we forget, you know, we in our cushy Western lives, we have a smartphone now, we go to a job that doesn't require us being beaten. You know, we go to a job that doesn't require physical work. We're not out in the fields, unless some of you guys are out in the fields. But we're not like out in the fields, most of us in the West especially, doing hard work. And yet, we forget to thank our Maker. We have so much, and yet people with less than us are thanking their Maker more than us. So please, I'm begging all of you, say Alhamdulillah. It's so important. Remember that life is a test, and saying Alhamdulillah brings you closer to your Maker. It brings you closer to your abdul. It brings you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So please, say Alhamdulillah. Every time something good happens to you, say Alhamdulillah. Every time something bad happens to you, say Alhamdulillah. You know why? You want to know why? I say Alhamdulillah. Something bad happens, Alhamdulillah. Why? Because there's always someone worse off than me, and I'm not that person. So, if something bad happens, Alhamdulillah. Why? Because there's other people who are having that same news, but 10 times worse. There's other people whose life's test 100,000 times worse than you can ever be. So please, just say Alhamdulillah. It's so important. At least once in your day. I'm just telling you this. It will change your day. It will change your life. At least one time in your day, find something you're truly grateful for. You know, even if you're blind, you still have your hearing. Even if you don't have hearing, you still have your vision. Or if you don't have any of those, at least you're alive. At least you have a sense of touch. So please, say Alhamdulillah. It's so important. Right, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gives you all the goodness in your life. Your maker is the one who provides for you everything. Remember, I've gone into this briefly in another topic, but your maker is the one who provides for you this planet, the air that you breathe, the sun. I mean, in order for us to even just be alive on this planet, forgetting everything else, we need a huge sun that's constantly perpetuating itself in a ball of plasma that's just so vast that we can't even imagine. Like you've all seen it, I'll put an image now. There's these strands of plasma that come off the sun that are so vast inside, and these are just tiny specks just being thrown off. You know, imagine like a speck of dust on your clothes. These are just being flung off from the star, and yet these are so large that you can fit the earth inside them, and it fits with space to spare. You know, you can just put the earth inside it, and it's like putting a tiny marble in a huge ring. And there's tons of space around it. That's how vast these things are. And yet, in order for us to live on this planet, we have to be set 3 planets out. We have to have a star. We have to have breathable air. We don't just have to have air, because you know we pollute the air just by breathing. So we have to have things like algae in the water and plants to recycle the air and make it fresh and clean for us. We have so much processing going on in the background. What do you think is harder? Your little test in life, or all those things that are going on in the background just so you can live? And then on top of that, we're gifted. We have, you know, we as human beings are allowed to have spouses, and we're allowed to have families. There's so much joy in those two just alone. We are not said, okay, you have to spend your whole life in servitude. No, you're allowed to go out. You're allowed to do work. You're allowed to find at least comfort in the world around you. So please, say Alhamdulillah, because there's way more to be grateful for than anything you can ever be ungrateful for. Allahu Akbar, Allah.